All right, let's talk about something that trips up pretty much every engineering team out there. Trying to find your way through the wild, overwhelming complexity of the modern multi-cloud world. We're going to get right into it. Ever feel like every new project is like hacking your way through a dense jungle? You're juggling multiple cloud providers, a dizzying number of services, and there's just no clear map to guide you? Yeah, it's a super common feeling, and you are definitely not alone.
But what if? What if there was a way to just cut right through that jungle? A way to stop reinventing the wheel for every single deployment? Well, the good news is, there actually is a path. A clear, well-trodden path forward.
Okay, but before we get to the solution, we really have to understand the problem. Let's call it what it is. The multi-cloud maze. And for so many developers and platform engineers, this is their day-to-day reality.
You know, what's really interesting here is how all these challenges just feed into each other, like a domino effect. You start with conflicting tool sets, that leads to totally inconsistent architectures. And that inconsistency, it creates massive security blind spots. And since nothing is standard, everything slows down. Your deployments, your innovation, and the complexity just skyrockets. It's basically a recipe for total frustration.
So just imagine this for a second. What if, instead of being handed a machete and a half-hearted good luck, you were given a map? Or even better, what if a senior architect was right there with you, giving you a guided tour, pointing out the absolute best, safest, and fastest route to get where you're going? That simple idea, well, that's what we're digging into today. And that guided tour, it has a name. It's called a golden path. It's this core concept the platform engineering teams are using to finally tame all that complexity and really empower their developers. So what is it exactly?
Okay, so a golden path isn't some strict, top-down rule. It's much smarter than that. Think of it as the path of least resistance. It's the company's official, recommended, and, this is the most important part, fully supported way to build something new. The whole point is to gently steer teams toward architectures that you already know work, that you already know are secure and reliable.
So what do you get out of this? Well, a few huge things. First, every developer starts from a secure foundation. All the guardrails are just built right in. Second, because that path is already paved, they can deploy with a ton of confidence and speed. And finally, and honestly, this is the big one, it lets your developers get back to doing what they do best, writing awesome code that creates value, not fighting with infrastructure.
This quote right here just nails it. The goal isn't to eliminate cloud complexity. I mean, that's impossible. Instead, you're hiding it. You're abstracting it away behind a really simple, intuitive experience so that being safe and being fast becomes the default setting, not some rare exception.
Okay, so that's all the theory. But what does a golden path actually look like in the real world? Let's check out two really common examples you'd probably find in just about any company. Right, so here we've got two different paths for two very different jobs. On the left, a path for a web API, with things like an API gateway and a container orchestrator. Then on the right, a path for a batch job, which needs stuff like a scheduler and a data processing engine. Now here's the beautiful part. Even though the tech underneath is completely different, the experience for the developer kicking off a new project is consistent. It's familiar. That's the magic. Let's zoom in for a second on that web API path. The platform team has already made some key decisions. They've picked Kubernetes as the orchestrator, Jenkins for CI/CD, and the Prometheus and Fluent D stack for observability. See, these aren't random choices. They are the approved, supported, and already integrated tools for this type of work. All that boilerplate is just done.
And this, right here, this is the heart of it. By putting together this curated stack, you've hidden the insane complexity of something like Kubernetes. A developer can now deploy their API with a simple command or a click in a UI without ever having to write a single line of YAML. I mean, that is a massive, massive win for productivity.
So, let's bring it all home. Why does this golden path strategy really matter for a company that's trying to move fast and innovate? What's the big takeaway?
It really just boils down to these four things. Speed, because you're not starting from zero every time. Safety, because the security is baked in from the start, not bolted on at the end. Simplicity, because you're taking a huge mental load off your engineers. And finally, consistency, which makes absolutely everything easier to manage, monitor, and maintain when you're trying to scale. When it comes down to it, golden paths are all about turning that confusing, complex, multi-cloud maze we started with into a well-paved, brightly lit highway. A highway where your dev teams can finally move fast, build incredible things, and push the business forward without constantly getting lost. So, I'll just leave you with this final thought.
Take a look at your own organization's development process. Seriously, where's the most friction? Where do your teams get bogged down the most? That's your starting point. So, what is the very first golden path you should build for your team?